sequence start. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Liftoff. We have
Yo,
a
what's going on,
liftoff.
everybody, and welcome to the third part of the creation of what we're hoping will one day be greatness. It's your boy Miles, and we are back with another episode of Motorsport Manager, where we have created and are managing Monsoon Motorsport. And so, as of right now, we are getting ready to embark in our first race weekend. We are currently traveling to Monza, and it looks like people are already talking and saying good things about our driver. It looks like Marvin has the potential to put his name alongside some greats, and so that is a very, very good thing. I don't think that it is a good comparison to make between him and the one and only seven-time world champion Lewis Hamilton, but one can only hope. I do hope and believe that even though this is a parallel racing universe, we will one day get to the point where our name will be compared to the greats of the Mercedes, the Scuderia Ferraris, and now what looks like to be the dominating Red Bull. So hopefully Monsoon Motorsport in this parallel universe will be able to put our name on that mantle, and we'll be able to have drivers, whether it's Marvin or somebody else, who will be able to be compared to the Lewis Hamiltons, the Michael Schumachers, and other great racing names. But for now, we're starting at the bottom, and we cannot make those comparisons. We're starting in Formula 3. We're starting literally at the bottom. The only thing that's good right now is our headquarters. And so we have a long way to go. In the last episode, we made some improvements. The first episode was our creation, and so now we're moving on. Unfortunately, we are not in the best of positions. We still have two temporary drivers, and it's not looking too good. Not looking too good at all. We have a lot of work to do, but if you want to end up seeing more of this series, you already know what to do. Your favorite YouTuber literally says it every single video. But if you want to see somebody who's already successful, who's at the top, hey, go look at somebody else's videos. Go look at somebody else's pit wall. We're starting from ground zero. We want to build up a legacy. We want to start a new dynasty in the world of motorsport, proving that even if you start at the bottom, literally anything is possible with the right amount of time, effort, and energy. And that's what we are here to prove. We're here to prove people wrong and to prove that we can demonstrate what is necessary for us to compete in this sport. So we're going to go ahead and advance to our race weekend, where we are racing at the one and only Monza. And so we're going to go ahead and take our Big Dose sponsorship. Unfortunately, it's not going to pay out too much, but we got to take our lowest sponsorship because we honestly do not know where we're at. We could be as high as, who knows, maybe getting a podium, or we could be as low as the back row finishing the race. So we're going to start here. We actually need to take a look at the rules really quickly to see what like practice and qualifying looks like. So it looks like as practice goes, practice is short. Practice lasts about 12 minutes, meaning that there's less of a chance for teams to perfect their race strategy, which means that because practice sessions are going to be relatively short, we need to put a heavy emphasis on our race strategy. That's what we need to focus on. We need to know how long our tires are going to last and what else it is that we're going to do in the race. Something else we need to take note of is, let's see. Look, we're rolling on high degradation tires. So something that I like about our team starting off with is we have relatively decent tire wear compared to the other teams, which is really, really nice. It looks like there's only 2 dry weather tire compounds each weekend, but we also have a choice of 35 dry tire choices, which is not environmentally friendly by no means at all, and is actually kind of crazy when you think about it, considering we have 35 tire choices, but only 2 tire compounds. That's actually kind of wild. Refueling, this is a big one. So we have to make at least 2 pit stops during this race. This is important because we need to keep that in mind. Are we going to fill up all the way at the beginning of the race, or are we going to only fill up as much as we can based on the tire compounds? But yeah, that's everything else. This is the last thing: reversed drivers championship position grids. So there are no quali sessions, and grids are decided by reverse grid. So that'll be interesting. um don't be surprised if for the most part during this season we are in the first 2 or 3 grids, just considering we are not in the position to be one of the heavy hitters. But hey, start somewhere and you go from there. One of the things that we do need to look at is the other teams, and so the other teams we will be competing with are ZRT Autosport. Looks like they're pretty good with their drivers, not the best in terms of the cars, so we'll have to see how good their drivers can pull that car up. And it looks like their team principal is D White and their chairman is R Han Long. Just starting off, for him to be uneasy for his job security, that's kind of wild. Next we have Zampelli, and I believe that this team right here is more than likely going to be the best team on the grid. Fortunately, their car starts are not the best, but best car, best drivers. I'd be feeling very secure if I was M. Lewis as well. Next, we have Vexela. So we have H. Wheaton. It looks like they'll probably be competing. Maybe they don't have the best drivers. They actually have almost equally bad drivers as we do. Actually, no, I take that back. They have pretty good drivers and a decent car. They should be somewhere towards the middle of the pack. Then we have Silva, also middle of the pack. They'll probably be fighting with Vexela for most of the season. Then we have Ozu. They are towards the top. They'll be fighting with Zampelli more than likely. We have Octane. They'll be tough to tell. They should be towards the middle of the grid. Then there is us, and we have every reason to be feeling uneasy. We have the worst car, we have the worst drivers, we have the worst staff. At least we don't have the worst sponsors, and we have the second worst pit crew. But like I said, we're starting from the bottom, man. We have a lot of work to do. It's gonna take years to progress through Formula 3, and even more years to get to our end goal of not only being in Formula 1, but also a championship team in Formula 1. Then we have Firebird MRT. They'll probably end up fighting for first, second, or third this year. All around good team. Dragon, or DRT as I like to call them sometimes, they might be towards the middle of the pack. And then Archer, they're also probably be towards the middle of the pack. But you could see how these other teams are, and then compared to us, we have so much work to do. It's hard being a new team. Unfortunately, not too many new teams end up succeeding and making it, but hey, we're here to prove everyone wrong. All right, so without further ado, let us go ahead and jump into our race weekend. We've already equipped our parts. We made sure that we gave Marvin the best car compared to I'm gonna call him Vit, or I'm gonna call him Torio. So we made sure we gave Marvin a better car than Torio, just considering it speaks for himself. Marvin is the better driver. But I think after this race weekend, hopefully we'll be able to have some drivers scouted out, and we'll be able to get some new drivers. I'm gonna need her to hurry up on this. Hopefully, it looks like Sophia is gonna be done in the next couple of days, so she has what looks to be pretty decent stats, but we'll see. So welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to round 1 of 9 of our first year in Formula 3. We are at the one and only Monza, and it looks like today the conditions are going to be pretty good. But yeah, practice session is only going to be 12 minutes. It's not going to give us a lot of information about our car, which, man, I keep saying it because it's so true. We have so much to learn, but first things first, we need to get our car setup going. I want to actually look at the tires. Look at how many tire compounds we have. Why? But I think the race said it was going to be 27 laps, which let's take a look. Yeah, so race is actually going to be 32 laps, excuse me. And it looks like for both practice and race, partly cloudy, which won't be too bad. But it's going to be 32 laps. Something that we know is that we're going to have to pit at least 2 times because of the refueling. So we honestly could end up doing like 3 sets of super softs for the race, or we could probably do a set of like 2 sets of super softs and then a set of softs depending on how our tire wear is looking. But I think that we're going to put our focus on the super softs. We'll probably start on super softs, maybe do super soft, and then softs to finish it out. But we have to be on our toes, because we really do not know how the cars are going to perform and what our tire degradation is going to look like in the race. All right, so first thing I'm going to try is, normally from my personal experience at Monza, you want to have lower, like you don't want to have too high downforce because it is a mainly speed based track. um you want to really focus on having high speeds, but at the same time there are some corners that are going to require grip. So as far as gear ratios, we want longer. Like I said, we want to focus on top speed. um so this is what I'm going to try for both of my drivers. Like I said, we're going to focus on these super softs for both. And then the thing about practice is we're going to have to continuously just keep tweaking, especially because we don't have the most amount of time. We do want to focus on making sure we get the knowledge necessary to help us out with our strategy, but at the same time we also want to make sure that we have a good race setup, because both of which can positively or negatively affect us. But let's jump into our first practice session and see how we do. And before we do, I just want to say our cars look pretty good in the garage. I do, if I do say so myself. But yeah, we're gonna have to send them both out, and get some times in, see how we compare to the other teams. We'll just do that. Put him on super softs. We'll leave him on race trim 9 laps. We'll probably end up bringing him in sooner than that, but that's what we're gonna do. And hopefully, because we're doing 9 laps and we'll have 9 laps of fuel in the car, we'll still be able to get a pretty good baseline of how the car's performance. But man, oh man. So we'll go ahead, we'll let them roll around the track for a bit. Get some information on the cars, and then we will come back, see what's going on. And because we have so many tires, I don't care if we burn through these tires too quickly. Main thing is we do want to just make sure that we get the information for our car, as well as put in some decent times and hopefully look somewhat competitive to the other teams. So after getting some feedback and just looking at the car, we're not in too bad of a position, but we're not looking too good. There's only one car at on the timing table that's currently behind us, and that looks like it's I'm gonna call him Kiki from Archer, and he's on a harder compounded tire, so we expect him to be a bit slower. But Marvin's not looking too bad because Torio is a temporary driver. I'm kind of expecting him to be off pace, but to be second to last on the softest compounded tire for the weekend, that's concerning. That's concerning. Very, very concerning. But yeah, you could see that we are almost very much off pace. I'm gonna bring them both in this lap because of their tires, and I actually was not paying much attention, and they blew through their tires. This is actually not too comforting because we were pushing, like we were attacking on the tires and we had our engine modes on high, and we're still very much towards the back of the grid. So we're gonna have to rely on two things for race weekend. First thing we're gonna have to rely on is other teams and their reliability being poor. That'll bring them into the pits outside of their, maybe normal pit window, and because of that, it'll also force them to be in the pit lane longer to repair those parts. And then we're gonna also have to rely on just really, really hoping and praying that we can like get some good results. But looks like Marvin came in, he had 96%, which is, or excuse me, 94%. He has one purple, one excellent, and two greats, which isn't too bad actually. We need to try and get this to be maximized, but after I fix this, we're just gonna send them out. Hopefully we can get level 2 knowledge, but we only have 5 minutes left in the session, and we're already in a position in which like we're only gonna get level 1s. But the thing about it is, if we get level 1s, other teams are gonna get level 1s. But like I was saying, we gotta focus on our reliability, and we gotta really, really nail our pit stop strategy to make the most out of every point that we can score. So we're gonna leave the downforce alone. It looks like this only needs to be tweaked a little bit, so we'll tweak our tire camber. Same thing, 9 laps, go on a different set of tires. Still focusing on those super softs because those are the two tire or that's more than likely going to be the tire compound that we focus on for the race. And then it looks like Torio, 90% is not bad, but I like to aim for at least 95%. At least we have speed balance looking pretty decent. So we'll take our handling one way that way, and then we'll take our, maybe he wants less downforce, and then we'll fix this so that's still kind of on. And then we'll send them back out and see what we can do. But we're almost 2 seconds off the pace just in practice, and that was us kind of pushing. So hopefully we can tighten it up. But I mean, at least the nice thing is, at least our car looks kind of nice, but a nice car doesn't mean anything if it's not fast, in my opinion. So we'll let them roll around, and then we'll come back in a few seconds. And just based off of the timing, I do not think that we're going to get level 2 for race trim and our super soft tires, which will kind of negatively affect us in the race. But there's only so much we can do with the amount of time that practice is. Only thing we'd be able to do to resolve that is to like vote for longer practice sessions. But we got to see what the FIA tables for votes this year. But right now, so just at the top of the timing tables, it looks like there's teams like Ozu, Vexela, Zampelli, Silva, Firebird. So it looks kind of mixed, but you can see we're down here at the back with like DRT, ZRT, and then Archer is all the way back here, which is kind of weird because I thought I saw Archer a little bit higher up. But me personally, I think those are the two teams that we're going to be fighting against, ZRT and DRT, or Dragon Race team. But I think that if we are able to beat those teams, then we're going to meet our achievement of finishing in 8th. And I think that we'll be able to beat both DRT and ZRT. But it looks like, unfortunately, one of our fans is saying that it's a disappointing practice session. To be honest, it's only disappointing if you have high expectations for us this year, but we're gonna do what we can, try to make the most out of it, and go from there. But this is the race weekend. This is what everybody has been waiting for, and so it looks like one of our drivers is starting up in third, other drivers starting towards the middle, up in 10th. And I guess that's just randomized because there are no points on the table right now. But for the next race and going on in the rest of the season, it'll be reverse grid. So this is the only practice knowledge that we have. So we'll have to make the most out of it. I'm pretty sure other teams will probably be in a similar position. It looks like, luckily, Marvin was able to get up to 96% on his setup, which is good. So I'm just going through. We'll leave it. I'm not going to tweak it. But we are going to start off on those super softs because he's in the middle. We do want to make the most out of it, and try and get some speed. Nice thing is we can fill up all the way up to 13 laps of fuel. These only go 10 to 12, so I'm actually going to remove, we'll remove 1 lap of fuel, and each lap of fuel actually costs us a little bit of time. So hopefully for this first lap will be 0.50 seconds quicker. But look, we're going to need every bit of speed that we can, and it looks like we went in the wrong direction as far as our downforce goes. So I will change his because I think we can get a better, even though he won't be familiar with the setup, I think we could get a better setup for him. So we'll go back to 16. I'll actually do 15.8 for both of them. Well, 15.8 and 25.8. And then we'll just tweak everything out. So we'll leave it like that. Yeah, we'll leave everything like that. But yeah, same thing. Since he's at the front of the grid, we want to maximize the speed. We want to maximize hopefully being able to get some clean air and keep up with the cars in front of him. I'm actually going to decrease him down to 10 because I don't think that with our fuel burn and the amount that our tires last, we'll end up going those 10 laps. We actually might end up being on the yellow wall tires a lot longer than I was expecting. We might do 2 stints with the yellow wall tires instead of 1. But hey, we got to be flexible. We got to make the most out of it. And definitely to start off the race, we're going to be attacking. We want to be aggressive. We want to hopefully stay on track, no collisions. I mean, we're going to be driving down into this. I think the race started somewhere on this straight here. We're going to be going into this corner, coming up here into this chicane. So hopefully we'll be able to pull out coming down into this corner at the bottom. And then hopefully we'll be far enough clear where there's no collisions in this chicane. This is my main concern right here because we're going to be gaining speed, come out of here, still maintaining a majority of that speed coming into here. Hopefully everybody, cold tires, everybody keeps in mind their brake points, but we'll see. But right now, yeah. So like I said, we're on the second row. We're starting in third, but this is our starting grid. Have a DRT in front of us. Sam Pelly's going to run off. We're fighting with Sergio, that's ZRT. We have another Sergio from Ozu. We have an Octane, like Sayla, Archer. Like I said, our main concern is going to be Dragon Race Team and ZRT. So we're going to look for where they're at on the grid. Other drivers, are we concerned about them? 100%. But right now, in order for us to meet our season-long goal of finishing in 8th for the championship, we got to beat out ZRT and DRT. One of those ZRTs is in 15th. Another DRT is in 18th. And it looks like that is the grid. So I'm actually kind of concerned. This is my concern right here. One, we have one of those DRTs in first position, and then he's in front of us. So we're going to have to make sure that Torio competes and stays with him. Another one of my concerns is Yvonne being in second with arguably one of the best teams and best cars on the grid. She's gonna take off, but that's not our race to run. We're going to focus on ourselves, DRT, ZRT, rock and roll from there. But without further ado, let's go ahead and confirm everything. We already saw the starting grid, and let's get into the race. And yeah. So looks like he got a pretty decent start. Looks like Marvin's up here pretty good coming into this first corner. Everything is good. Somebody ran wide, but we are in a good position. Like I said, I wanted to stay on top of that chicane, and it looks like somebody is going around our outside from a Ozu. He actually got a lot of speed out of that corner, but so far so good. Looks like we have a battle with Marvin back here for 12, so it looks like he didn't have the best of starts. Lost some time going into that chicane, but it looks like we are not too bad. Looks like we're starting to get the run up the inside coming into the start-finish straight. But yeah, we're back in the 10th. Looks like he's losing some positions. I'm actually going to stop pushing him so hard. We'll continue to push on fuel, just monitor that. But we need Marvin to hold some of these positions. Hopefully he'll get by some people, but we do not want to lose too much time fighting everybody. And it looks like Torio is already dropping back. You can see one, his pace, but also how bad our car is, because he started in third and he's dropping back, and like that DRT is still in first, followed by a Ozu. Like, it's gonna be a long season, especially if that DRT is still, they just now dropped the second. You see how slow he is and how fast he's dropping. And that's on a straight. Oh. Yeah, he's going to have a long race. So I'm actually going to slow him down. We're going to have to get his strategy like almost perfect. But his pace is abysmal. He's dropping back so quickly. And this is just one of many reasons why we need another driver, because thing is, he's on the softest compounded tires and people on harder tires are passing him. He should have pace on those tires. He's making things difficult for us. But yeah, we have a long ways to go for this race. I'm not expecting too much for this first stint. Yeah, we have a long season ahead of us. Ooh, and I was fast forwarding it, but it looks like one of the Vexelas crashed into the wall. It looks like they probably ran wide in that chicane and crashed into the wall. And unfortunately, there is no yellow flag, or not yellow flag. There's no safety car for them crashing into the wall like that. That would have helped our strategy, but we're already coming up on our first pit window. And I think that those tires said they were going to last 10 laps, and they didn't even. Are you kidding me? You mean to tell me this man cut a corner and then we ran into the back of him to lose time? I'm sorry, but Torio gotta go, bruh. He needs to have the race awareness to drive around him. I know he probably didn't take any damage from that, but dog. I'm so disappointed right now. But luckily, it looks like a couple cars already went into the pits. Nobody looked like they repaired anything. This DRT actually went on another set of softs. He might be doing a 3-stop strategy. But we're going to be bringing Marvin in this lap, so we're going to heavy push. We're going to keep conserving for Torio, bring him in following the lap so we don't double stack them, because they're only 2 seconds apart and they do not have enough time to double stack and for it to be a clean double stack as well. but I think that these tires are about to hit the cliff. They hit the cliff at 15%, so we're gonna notice that he starts dropping back. So yeah, and I'm hopefully not an idiot and forgot to pit him or call him into the pit lane. And we're gonna full fuel all the way up. Not repair anything. We'll leave it as balance. Hopefully he comes in. Okay, cool. And it looks like it's gonna be as long as we refuel fine, it's looking like it's gonna be a good pit stop from the guys over there in the pit lane at Monsoon Motorsport. 9th in the pit ranking, which shouldn't be too bad, but we're gonna need him to actually, because the tires fall off the cliff at 15%, so he's gonna start losing time, and he's only about halfway through the lap. It's not a good first stint. Not a good first stint at all, because look how far back Marvin is too. He's almost 10. He's 10 seconds back. Put that boy up, bro. Now you see. Now you see the challenges of starting a brand new team, and it's moments like this, to be honest, that cause new teams to not make it too long in motorsport, because let's be real, we're going to face certain challenges. There's going to be certain things that make it challenging for us. I mean, we're going to score points regardless, but it's a matter of how many points we score and are we going to be able to compete. But man, bro, I'll be honest, challenges either make your team or break your team, and right now we're going to have to use this as a making point instead of a breaking point. So luckily, one of our drivers is in front of this ZRT driver. It looks like after they came out the pit lane, but man, you already see, I think it's because, I'm not gonna lie, I was not paying attention, but it's because we were churning through these tires earlier on. And look at how they're closing up. You could see the gap here. It's about 8.5 tenths right now. 8 tenths, 7 tenths. We're gonna get past on this straight. But let's see where this DRT comes out. So this DRT, that his second pit? Or is that his first? That was his second pit. So that's what I was saying when we have to rely on our race strategy, because he's already pit 2 times. He's 10 seconds down behind Sorio. So man, I would like to say hopefully Marvin will stay within the gap, like a 1.5 second gap, so he can continue to get the slipstream and stay within like some form of competition with this driver in front of us. But he's almost 2 seconds down, and that ZRT is going to continue to run off. Yeah, we got a ways to go, man. We got a ways to go. But right now, the top 3 in the race is this Zampelli driver, who looks like she is coming in at the end of this lap, followed by Ozu, followed by Firebird, followed by another Zampelli. So that's our top 4, and then our top 5 is another DRT who's coming in for his second pit stop, it looks like. But man, for him to be punching up in 5th after one pit stop is crazy. But the top 4 looks like it's consisted of 3 different teams, which is nice. Some form of competition at the top, but here we are in the back, moseying along, minding our business. And even back here, it looks like this DRT is closing the gap on Torio, which right now it's 7.5 seconds. But man, and we're gonna have to come in. We might actually have to switch over to a 3 stop because there's no way these tires are gonna go to lap 18. Let's see. Yeah, there's no way those laps are going to lap 18. And the reason I say if those tires went to lap 18, it would help us because we don't have to pit one more time. We have the fuel to go that far, but oh my gosh, bro. And we have a DRT closing up the back on the back behind us. Or this is the DRT that was up in 5th. So we're not losing time from tire wear. And in dirty air, I'm actually gonna pit him. I'm gonna put him onto a set of soft tires though, because we have it looks like we'll have 19 laps to go after this lap, and hopefully we can split the difference on those. We'll fill up to 10 laps of fuel, and then we'll leave our brakes. But this is what I was talking about, reliability, because if we have to fix it, it's an additional 10 seconds and we're already towards the back of the pack. So we really need to bank on other teams pitting their drivers and fixing their cars, because that's what will end up making time. But let's see how Marvin's pit stop is. Looks like no mistakes, good on the refueling. So that was a pretty good pit stop. Came out in 3rd. It was much quicker than our first pit stop, but man, I'm actually gonna push Torio this lap. We're gonna go attack and overtake. We got to be careful because if we leave our car in overtake too long, it'll negatively impact the engine and the gearbox. So we'll push, bring him in at the end of this lap. We'll actually go ahead and tell him early enough so he knows. Same thing, put in 10 laps of fuel, no repairs, leave it on. We're gonna do fast, man. Like, honestly, we have nothing to lose and we need to make up as much time as we possibly can. But dog, almost 20 seconds back. Let's see how this pit stop goes. No mistakes on the tires, good on the refuel. Looks like we'll pass somebody in the pits. Actually, no, he got out. Never mind. But second, we'll take that. Not too bad. We'll kind of push. Should make up a little bit of time. Not too much, honestly. Still sitting in 17th and 19th, which right now we're dead last in the team championship. Luckily, I was thinking we was going to be fighting the ZRTs and stuff like that, but I think it's because not everybody has done their second pit stop, so it's not an accurate representation of where every team is at right now. But we'll go back to do neutral and high because we do kind of need to save these tires. But man, like, this is how it's going to be for a while. We're going to be in the middle of no man's land, and not in a good way. Now it looks like we're kind of closing up on the back of this DRT. Never mind. So I should have put Marvin on this lap, but we'll bring him in on this upcoming lap. And then we're gonna have to go to another set of the yellow wall tires. Hopefully he does not hit that tire cliff, bro. I mean, this early in the season, like small mistakes like this don't really matter. I will say that, you know, being a new team, like we're gonna make mistakes, but the important thing is that we learn from these mistakes and we make sure that we do not repeat these things like in the future. Otherwise, it's gonna end up biting us in the butt, and we want to be fighting consistently for points. Um, I mean, we have points, but every point is gonna end up mattering, especially like down the road, because you never know how the season is gonna end up finishing. But I think we have 12 laps. I'm trying to do the math because I'm on lap. This is lap 20. I think. Yeah, we'll have 12 laps to go. He might get lapped, which will be no surprise. But and then is he far enough ahead where I could double stack them? Yeah, we're gonna do it, dog. we we have nothing to lose. And right now, we'll just chalk it up to the fact that we're trying to learn. That's not going to be enough time. He's going to be sitting, yeah. It's whatever, man. To be honest, we're so ready to be done with this race. We are beyond already, man. We're ready to pack up our stuff and go ahead on to the next race. And I know our partners over at Ford are not going to be satisfied at all. And it looks like we're being lapped. How embarrassing. So yeah, this is our first race, and it's definitely going to be one to forget. Somebody else crashed out. Looks like he probably got beached in the grass. Firebird. But I mean, hey, that's more points for us. Looks like somebody else crashed out. Oh man. Hey, look. I'm surprised there's no safety cars that have come out, but every point counts, and because we will finish in front of them, I mean, they'll still get points, but that'll help us out. How much it'll help us out? Not much, but yeah. I mean, right now, well, I'll wait for us to pass him, but we're still at the back. I mean, we're scoring points. We're going to finish in front of a couple of drivers on points, but it's not a great race. Not a great race at all. To finish 16, 17, and 3 drivers crashed out. It's not looking too good. So right now, I mean, only way we're gonna beat out a couple other drivers is if they pit. But like, you see how far off the pace we are. We're almost 10 seconds back, and he's pitted one more time than us. And then we're 20 seconds back from the other teams who have done arguably similar strategies. We're just off the pace, all around off the pace. So, like I said, one to forget. All right, so something I just noticed, it looks like both of the 2 drivers in front of us pit. We're not going to end up passing Kiki, but looks like we're gonna pass Tang. Um, at least Marvin is, and with just about 5 laps to go, dog. That's the second time you drove right into the back of somebody. But hopefully Marvin. I mean, it's 8 seconds. Hopefully Marvin will be able to hold him off. But his tires. Let's see. His tires are not looking too favorable. The grip for the yellow walls will fall off at 10%, but we're about to start dealing with our tires being too cold. And our pace is terrible, bro. He's already closed up to 3 seconds, 2.5 seconds. Are you kidding me? Dog, another person crashed. At least, uh, look, it's never a good thing when somebody crashes in motorsport because you want, the health and well-being of all drivers. You want people to be safe. But I was gonna say, at least that's one more point for us. And then as soon as I was trying to say that, that DRT driver Tang passed us, bro. At least he's pitting again. Thank goodness, bro. We'll pass him in the pits. But we don't want to be passing drivers and getting points because they're crashing out or because of reliability issues or because of their race strategy. Granted, that happens, but we want to be passing drivers because we have a good car, a good drivers, and a good all-around team. But we gotta take what we can take, bruh. At least up in the 14th. Like we'll not only score decent points. I mean, we're gonna be pretty far back from the next nearest team, but at least we're gonna be scoring pretty decent points, and then we'll also end up um, getting our sponsor objective and scoring. I think it was $150,000 race bonus, but these tires are about to hit the cliff. Do we risk pitting? Like, he's pitted 6 times. That's what I mean by race strategy. Like, we should pit, but yeah, we should pit because our tires are gonna hit the cliff. I mean, it doesn't matter, to be honest. I just don't want us to get passed because our tires hit the cliff. So we'll monitor to see where on the track he is, but he's not gonna pass it. I just want to make sure that we have the tires to make it to the end of the race. Actually, I take back what I said. He's gonna get passed. To be honest, I honestly don't have much to say. That's one of those races, especially for it to be our first race, you really just want to forget. But it looks like our first race winner was Jean-Pierre Girard in the Fire MRT. But yeah, you could look at that for yourself. These are the drivers' championship standings. As you can see, my drivers are at 15th and 17th. And the team is in 10th with 10 points. 6 points behind our two rivals. We have a long ways to go. And this is why early on I was very hesitant to choose 8th. I should have known better, you know, but it happens. And yeah. These are the Formula One standings. I don't know how he scored 51 points, bro. That's kind of crazy. Maybe that's how the championship is set up. I have no idea. Why did they score so many points? These are the Formula 2 standings. And here are the Formula 3 standings, where we're at the bottom, but we don't want to talk about that. But yeah, man, that's very, very demoralizing, to be honest. And then on top of that, we have a contract offer rejected. We're gonna take this interview and then wrap it up. But you're asking about Jean-Pierre Girard, which, to be honest, he won the race. It's very fast. He's exceptional. I don't know what you want me to say. Don't know what you want me to say, but man, this is just evidence that we still have a lot of work to do over here at Monsoon Motorsport. But if you enjoyed the video, make sure you like, subscribe, comment, share the video. I don't know, say something encouraging for your boy, because right now things are not looking too favorable for us. But it's your boy Miles. I'm about to go cry, and I hope to catch you in the next one.